Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. All right, so today I just want to talk to you about my reminiscence of Ruth Bader Ginsburg and what she meant to me. So one, rather than look up some Wikipedia information, I'm gonna explain what my perception of Ruth Bader Ginsburg was to me, and what my memories of her were, and what she meant to me as a political figure. So one, Ruth Bader Ginsburg almost always voted exactly the opposite of the way I would like to see a Supreme Court justice vote. So she didn't carry any of my values in voting or doing her job as a judge, right? I think she almost always voted exactly the opposite. Like if I got to choose her vote, that I would have voted the opposite on virtually every single one, right? But I still had a lot of respect for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Oh, and I'm sorry if anybody's not aware, Ruth Bader Ginsburg RBG, right? The Notorious RBG. She has suffered a life exit. She is no longer with us here on planet Earth. She's here in the corporeal sense, but she's not here in the conscious sense, right? So she has suffered a life exit, and she was 87 years old, 1 year older than Joe Biden will be if he gets in and he does what he has promised to do. If he does what he has ensured people that he will do, which is to serve 2 terms. So Joe Biden will be 86 years old if he serves 2 terms. If he just does what he is signed up to do, because Joe Biden has never, ever promised to serve 1 term and 1 term only, ever. Okay, so she was 1 year past the age that Joe Biden will be serving as president if he gets in and just does what he's promised to do, right? Which is like do what any president who signed up for is 2 terms. Nobody wants a one-term president. You know how you know that? Because no president has ever in my lifetime promised to do that. Because if you're not fit to do terms, you're really not too fit to be president. So her age, the age of her life exit, is very, very apropos to this current situation, because it reminds us that, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg, life exited, she did not, she absolutely, when her mortal coil ended, no one was surprised, right? Like when you're 87 years old, that's not a surprise when you have a life exit event. That's very standard life event for that time of life, right? For that period of life, for that age of life. A life exit is completely appropriate from the age perspective of an 87-year-old person. It's not a big surprise, right? So, I just think it's really critical. She was 87 years old. She passed, right? And that's what happens when you're 87 years old, right? So why you'd be like, what would be good is an 86-year-old president. Is that a good idea? Does that match science? Does that match data? I don't know, right? It'd be hard to say it does, right? But the Democrats are saying, hey, let's forget this data. Let's forget this science. Let's just pick and choose what science we want to listen to, what data we want to listen to. Yeah, it's a bad look on the Democrat side, right? And also, 87 years old, dying in while you're doing your job, that's rough. That is rough, right? Because the reality is, the idea is that we have a 66-year-old retirement age so that you don't die at your desk. Essentially, you don't pass when you're doing the position you're in, right? Because it clearly can cause some serious problems, right? We got a problem right now, right? So it's very sad. I'm very sad that Ruth Bader Ginsburg has passed. Has passed, but I do want to share with you my overall experience with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So my experience with her, and the thing that really impressed me there was a few things that impressed me about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I'd like to share some positive things about Ruth Bader Ginsburg because I think she deserves our respect. So one, she served on the Supreme Court. That's a huge achievement. It's not easy to get there. She got there. To my knowledge, I think she was one of 3 women serving on the Supreme Court. She was the second woman to serve on the Supreme Court, and she was one of 3 women that were serving on the Supreme Court. So basically, that's a huge achievement. So that was really impressive. The other thing that I really liked about Ruth Bader Ginsburg is she made herself famous within the Hollywood set and within the entertainment industry. So the entertainment industry and the Hollywood industry is incredibly left-leaning, and so they really leaned toward Ruth Bader Ginsburg, right? So you had this situation where she was really very popular among the Hollywood set and very popular among the entertainment set. And so I came across her in 3 different genres. So she did get the moniker, the nickname, Notorious RBG, all right? And essentially that was essentially like a rap call out, because Notorious RBG, right? So basically, that was Biggie, right? So it was, so she was, she had this nickname that came from a rap reference, that's huge, right? That's really big. And I'm a huge rap fan. DMX, Mos Def. I have quite a few. Those 2 are my favorite. I would say, yeah, the guy. Yeah, there's quite a few. I would also say that I was also, of course, I'm a huge fan of Biggie. I'm a huge fan of Dr. Dre. I'm a huge fan of Snoop Dogg. All of those, and also right now I'm a huge Post Malone fan. All right, so I'm definitely a rap fan, and just the fact that she was able to earn a rap nickname, a Notorious RBG, that's huge, right? Like, it's a really big deal. The other thing is, I'm a huge Scooby-Doo fan, and RBG got into the latest Scooby movie, Scoob. Velma was going on Halloween, and her Halloween costume was RBG, was Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So when Shaggy meets Velma in her RBG costume, he goes, "Oh, are you in costume as Harry Potter?" I thought that was hysterically funny, but it was an RBG reference in a Scooby-Doo movie. Like, that's pretty cool if you're a Supreme Court nominee and you're getting name dropped in a Scooby-Doo movie. That is very cool, right? And that's another thing, is RBG was seriously cool. She was cooler than all the other Supreme Court nominees. Way cooler. I think it's very easy to say she was the coolest Supreme Court nominee, right? So what else did I really like about her? So you have all those things there, right? So you have Notorious RBG. She got name dropped in Scooby-Doo movies. And, my absolute favorite is Kate McKinnon on SNL. I'm a huge SNL fan. I've watched SNL pretty much every year since I've been able to, right? Well, since 1988. And I love SNL because it's funny and it's political, right? SNL is outrageously political, outrageously left-leaning, right? I actually suspect that SNL realized that it had a major problem and that they were leaning so far left that they had to correct the problem. And I think in 2019 they tried to correct the problem and it turned into Tears and Flames. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. All right, so Kate McKinnon, she would do a character, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, specifically as a character, right? And she had a catchphrase. She said, "That's a Ginsburg," right? And it was, so I literally think of Ginsburg as Ginsburg because Kate McKinnon just nailed that joke again and again and again and again, and it was so funny. And Kate McKinnon did a great job with her, like this wiry energy and this real funny fast flow of RBG. And Kate McKinnon also made a lot of jokes about how Ruth Bader Ginsburg was kind of trapped in her job, which she really was, right? So when Trump dropped in, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was like, "Oh snap! I can't retire because my job's going to go right to a conservative judge," right? So it was rough. I think it was rough. Also, this is another. But I do think Ruth Bader Ginsburg is a very serious cautionary tale that we should not have people who are retirement age doing jobs that are very arguably the toughest jobs in the world that cause a huge amount of stress, because it seems cruel at this point, right? So, and I really do think at the end Ruth Bader Ginsburg was trapped in this job and really couldn't have left if she wanted to, which is rough. That's a rough spot to be in. So overall, I have a lot of great memories about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Mostly her ability to make a job that is very uncool, like Supreme Court Justice. Like, it's kind of like a county clerk or something, like, it's not a cool job, right? But she made it cool, and she, she got name dropped in Scooby-Doo movies. She showed up on SNL all the time through Kate McKinnon, and she earned a rap nickname. Like, she was a really cool lady. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I am very sad. My condolences to her family. My condolences to people who cared about her from a personal perspective, even beyond the political. I think she was a really cool lady, and I have really fond memories of her. Her rap nickname, her Scooby-Doo movie name drops, and her, Kate McKinnon's hysterical production of her within SNL. How about you? What was your interaction with the Ruth Bader Ginsburg? How did she cross-section into your life? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.